Hey guys, it's Fleccas. This week we're at USC to talk to some college students to see if they're excited that their president didn't collude with the Russians to overthrow our political system. Let's see what they have to say. Fleccas talks. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a quick question? It'll take 30 seconds. Okay. We're talking with Mitchell. So obviously the Mueller report came out yesterday. Happy to hear that the president of your country didn't collude with the Russians.
Best news since the election, honestly.
It came out yesterday, no collusion. What do you think? Happy to hear?
Yeah, I haven't read through it myself yet, but it seems like it was one of those nothing burger type situations.
It's great news. I would be shocked that anybody's upset that the president didn't commit treason.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like Rachel Maddow was literally crying on TV because the president didn't commit treason. Are you happy that Trump didn't collude with the Russians?
I'm not gonna answer that one, man.
Well, the answer is yes, right? He didn't collude with the Russians. It's good news. All right. I'm Austin. Hi. So yesterday the Mueller report came out. No collusion. Happy to hear that President Trump didn't collude with the Russians.
I don't think the Mueller report was very accurate.
Well, the summary that came out said that there's no collusion, and then obstruction of justice went to the Attorney General. He said no obstruction of justice. Good news for the country?
No, I don't know. No, because I mean, there's so many things that I don't know.
Well, are you happy the president didn't collude with the Russians and overthrow our political system at least?
F the president.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. Happy to hear that our president didn't collude with the Russians and overthrow our political system?
I mean, I already knew it was all bullshit from the beginning, so it was no surprise, really.
Yesterday, the Mueller report ended. There's no collusion with the Russians. Are you happy to hear the president didn't collude with the Russians?
Is that even true, man?
It is true. The Mueller investigation's over. No collusion, and obstruction of justice got put on the Attorney General. He said no obstruction of justice. And actually, the Russians reached out to Trump to collude, and he rejected the offer.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, man.
It's true. It all came out yesterday. I swear to God.
Okay, I mean, I'm not calling you a liar. It's just hard to believe. Yeah.
If what I said is true, would you be happy to hear that the president didn't collude?
Not to call you a liar, but it's one person is just one person, you know?
But look, there's a sign right there that says collusion, delusion with Adam Schiff's face on it, and he has tinfoil hat on. So, you know, there's some truth to it. We have a sign. We went to Kinko's and made it real.
To be honest, I can't really have a comment on that right now.
Can I ask you a question? Hello? Can I ask you a question? Maybe next time. Excuse me, miss? Can I ask you a question?
I'm actually running late.
Okay. Everyone's running late for something. Hello, fellow college students. Did you guys hear that the Mueller report is over and the president didn't collude with the Russians? Good news?
We did hear that.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Good news, bad news?
Repeat? Big thumbs.
The Mueller report's over. No collusion with the Russians. The president didn't collude with the Russians.
Big time thumbs up for
Explain the Mueller report.
They said there's no collusion. Obstruction of justice went to the Attorney General. He said no obstruction of justice. And in fact, the Russians reached out to Trump to try to collude with him, and he rejected the offer. Yeah. Thumbs up, baby.
We like that.
Baby.
Big old ups.
Double, triple ups.
So what is that, Culver City Ice Hockey?
Culver City Ice Hockey.
Yeah.
Double straps as well.
There we go.
Pretty cool. We're pretty cool guys.
What was your name?
Austin.
Isaac.
Nice to meet you.
Man.
So yesterday, the Mueller report ended. There's no Russia collusion between the president and the Russians. Good news?
Good news.
Sometimes when people are texting and they're walking towards you, they don't see you, and they're coming down like this, I go, pew, 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 and they look up, like, what's that sound? And it's like, it's me. You're about to run into me because you're texting. Very beautiful eyes.
Thanks.
Can you zoom in on his eyes? Is that cool?
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Beautiful eyes. Second one. Okay. The Mueller report is over. No collusion between Trump and the Russians. Exciting news. Good news for this country?
I wouldn't say good news. I honestly haven't read that much about it, but from what I've heard, he said he's not exonerated, but he's not found guilty as of yet. So
well, it was not exonerated for obstruction of justice. That goes to the Attorney General, and he said there's no obstruction of justice. Mueller did conclude that there was no collusion with the Russians, and they actually said that the Russians tried to collude, and he rejected the offer.
Really?
Are you happy to hear that the president didn't commit collusion with the Russians?
Okay, let me tell you something. I don't follow this very closely, but whatever I heard was a little bit surprising to me.
Maybe it's like a wake-up call almost of the fact that the media has been pushing this Russia story for 2 years and it ends up really not being true.
Well, it's surprising to me, but I don't know what exactly has happened. Again, like I said, I was maybe very surprised, if not totally surprised,
Well, what happened was there was no collusion, obstruction of justice. That decision was left to the AG Barr, and he said that there was no obstruction of justice. And in fact, the Russians did reach out to Trump and try to collude with him for the election, and they rejected the offer. Pretty good news?
Very good news, I think.
Very good news. Thank you for talking to me, sir. Have a good day. Got a lot of people out here now. Yeah, keep an eye out for some texters and riders. A lot of people texting and riding. It's very dangerous, guys. Very chaotic. Look, we got riders. Whoa! USC, chill out. Chill out here. This is insane. Too many people skating and riding and texting and driving. It's insane. Chill out.
I mean, I don't really have any political opinion. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't keep up with that stuff at all. But
All right, that's cool, and that's actually who my target market is going forward.
I'm the right person.
Going into 2020, would you agree that you're probably somewhere in the middle? Slightly left, maybe center, slightly right, maybe somewhere in that
right
range?
there.
Do you think there should be censorship on campus for free speech?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Should I?
No. There should be free speech no matter what.
There should be free speech. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Do you think people should be allowed to come here illegally?
To the country? I don't know about that, honestly.
But you would agree that we should at least know who's coming in here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Would you like to pay less taxes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think jobs are good? It's good that Trump made a bunch of new jobs, 4 million new jobs.
Yeah.
Economy's better.
That's great, yeah.
Wall Street.
That's great.
Prison reform, that's a good thing.
Good thing.
Very good thing. So would you agree that Trump's not that bad?
Yeah.
Cool. That's all it takes. Do you think that there's some good things he's done in office so far?
I'm sure there are.
Economy's really good. 4 million new jobs. He did prison reform. That was huge. They've been trying to do that for years, and he got it done. Van Jones said that he's the uniter in chief for that one.
Yeah.
GDP's up around 3% consistently. Stock market's crushing it. Unemployment's down. Unemployment for blacks, Hispanics, and women's the lowest it's ever been. There's like some good things going on. North Korea's better than it was. Foreign relations are good.
True.
So there's some good stuff happening, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good things happening. Like, I don't know if I'd attribute that all to him, but not everything is bad.
Let me guess. I'm running late. Hello.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late for meeting.
Okay. Hello, ladies. Can I ask you a quick question? All right. I believe you, because they have the costumes on. I believe you. Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you a question? Okay. Well, I already did, technically. Do you think that there should be some accountability from the people maybe who abused the power within the FISA courts and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Going into 2020, do you think some people should be held accountable so we can kind of regain some trust in the DOJ and the FBI?
I think that some people are going to definitely eat their words come 2020. They should have been a little bit more careful in what words they chose to use. But, I mean, talk shit, get hit, I guess.
Wow. Didn't expect that from you, Chris. Yeah, the emotions are what was played with in the last few years.
Absolutely.
And when the news comes out and it gets thousands of retweets, the emotional reaction is done. But then when maybe a retraction comes, they say, oh, actually, that wasn't true. It's not the same thing. The damage is already done. And that's so hard to repair. So that's kind of what we have coming forward.
Yeah.
Coming into 2020, hopefully we can do it, bring some people together. Would you agree that most people are pretty much surrounding the middle as it is?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think the media wants us to believe we're all far left and all far right.
No, that's what sells.
Yeah, it's true. And they try to be competitive. They're trying to get clicks. Donald Trump's the biggest story of their lifetime, and they've kind of, it's been at our expense, unfortunately.
I mean, they've always been liars, really, since like the war in Iraq and the whole war in Syria, and they've always lied about all the wars. So I don't expect them to tell the truth at any point in time, really.
Do you think that people who maybe aren't the most political are waking up to what's going on, and this is going to be like a setback for the media and the power they hold?
I think so. I think there's two sides to it. Maybe there's a side that's kind of brainwashed and still believes and gets amped up about the Russian narrative, and then there's another side that is aware of all the nonsense. They just don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, which would you say is the majority?
Probably the latter.
I totally agree. Yeah. And I think the media has been basically projecting the messages that the radical progressives want to hear. And in reality, we're probably closer to the middle than they want us to realize.
Totally. I agree.
Cool. Good talking to you, man.
What's your name?
Austin.
Austin?
Yeah.
Joe.
Nice to meet you.
All right.
Cool. Later, dude.
At the end of the day, they're never going to stop.
And
Yeah.
you just have to be prepared. You have to know the things yourself, and you have to seek out the best news sources and the best things like that.
They're never going to stop. That's why they want to unseal the whole thing, just so they can pull the little things that didn't actually cross the line, because that's probably enough for impeachment, or at least to try to get impeachment.
It obviously won't. I mean, they're like, oh, it leaves the door open for obstruction of justice. Like, he had nothing to obstruct from.
How would the people that basically framed him for treason, should they be held accountable?
I think we should investigate them.
I totally agree. And I think that's what's coming. I think we're kind of on offense now that Mueller's done. No collusion. We're on offense.
There obviously wasn't any obstruction because there was no collusion. It's like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's so
You
dumb.
obstructed justice from a crime you didn't commit. It's like, wow, hard to keep up.
You know, I feel like if both sides would kind of see the good in each other, which I think we can, you know, you could see a shift, but you just don't see it happening because it all comes down to money, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And the media is pushing for clicks.
Yeah, and they need people to watch. They need people to be upset. You know, and it's like, so you hope for the best, but you expect the worst, right?
Yeah,
That's what
people
I say.
pushing for clicks. It's almost as if there needs to be a free market response from the alternative online media that costs no money to make, as long as you pay Buck a little bit here and there and get his Ubers home. Do you think the media should be held accountable? Some of the people pushing this conspiracy basically for 2 years, do you think some people need to be held accountable, maybe some fines or some firings?
Media is a very big problem with the whole political, you know, the mob mentality that they can create behind these stories. I mean, this all started with Hillary anyhow claiming the collusion. So, you know, I don't think that it's a bad thing that we investigated this thing. I think the problem, I identify more liberally than I do conservative, but I think the problem that we're seeing now in the liberal perspective is just hounding on the conclusion of this thing. Sorry, my buddy's calling me from Brazil. Yeah.
Congrats to Bolsonaro over there. Tell him congrats to Bolsonaro.
Congrats to Bolsonaro? Oh, man, get that guy out of there.
Oh, he's such a good leader. His legs are normal when he sits, not like Trudeau. Picture. Boom. Hello. Can I ask you a question? I didn't believe her. I'm sorry, I have to go rush to meet somebody. 2 stars. Hey, ladies, can I ask you a quick question? Everyone's saying no.
Yeah, we have a meeting, sorry.
Okay, don't be late. Oh, almost a crash. Do you fear that the Democrats are going too progressive at this point?
It all just depends on those middle people who, if they can, because, you know, the far left people, they're always going to be far left. It's just who they are. It'll be really interesting to see if people will wake up and they'll be like, yeah, the media is lying to me. Like, it all depends on that. And if you can paint the picture that's like, hey, these people were in the wrong, they're just pushing a narrative, and you just need to open your eyes and, like, it's okay to, like, say that you're wrong.
Exactly.
It's just hard for people to do that.
Think that he'll get reelected in 2020?
Hope he doesn't.
I think he will.
He will.
He will.
I think
He will. Who do you want to win? Who's your favorite Democrat candidate?
I'm not gonna say.
Yang
Gang. My political.
You're a Yang Gang guy? Hey, that makes sense. Yang Gang's cool. They got good merch. Do you wish that the Democrats would maybe come back to a little bit more of a moderate position than the direction they've been going?
I don't think so. I don't think they'll ever become moderate again. I think that's more of a pipe dream than anything at this point.
Do you wish they would, though, personally?
Personally, I do, yeah.
Do you find yourself more in the middle?
Yeah, generally.
Cool. Me too. All right, cool. Look at this deep squat. Pretty good?
Yeah, it's great.
Pretty good flexibility. All right, good talking to you, Chris. Thank you. Hey, guys, any interest in an interview? 1 minute. Everyone says no to me. All right. Can I ask you a question for an interview? Everyone's saying no.
Sorry.
No. Everyone pretends not to see me. It's fine. I don't care.
Fleccas?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Can I get a selfie?
Of course.
Big fan, thank you.
All right, what's your name?
Eason.
What's the political environment on campus like right now?
Regarding what specifically?
Like, as a left-leaning person or as a right-leaning person, are both equally comfortable expressing their views?
No, definitely not. I think the left-leaning person doesn't have to worry as much about being harassed or threatened, because my friend Max actually was threatened pretty badly. He experienced a lot because he was responsible for hosting Ben Shapiro, primarily because he's the chairman of YAF here. And he experienced a lot of harassment. And I don't see how that would have flown by if it was, let's say, someone bringing a left-leaning person. And I think if you're left-leaning or right-leaning, you should be allowed to bring whoever you want. You shouldn't have to worry about the consequences of that.
What are your hopes for 2020?
Make America great again.
Ah, very good. Good talking to you, man. Is it hard being conservative out here?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say so. It's a little bit risky in LA.
What do you think would happen if you wore like a MAGA hat on campus? Would you be treated well?
I don't know. I'm not really willing to run that experiment.
The executive order Trump signed, hopefully that'll make it easier
Yeah,
to
I
discuss
definitely
ideas on
don't.
campus.
That's great. I don't know about that.
Why?
I mean, why would it?
Make it easier on campus?
Yeah.
Well, I think if you pull federal funding from one of these big schools for not doing it, I think other schools will fall in line pretty quick. There's like billions of dollars that can get pulled that immediately would affect budgets, and a lot of schools will go out of business, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
So what's this for?
This is for my YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're talking about Russia and how the collusion didn't happen, and hopefully people should agree that they're happy the president didn't collude, which is good.
I just want to be living in a safe space. And LA offers that. I don't know if other places offer that, so I can't make claims for other places in the United States.
So are you happy that Trump is making our national security and our border such a major issue?
No, because I come from a family of immigrants, and if my family had not immigrated here, I would not be at USC where I am today.
Did they immigrate here legally?
No, legally, but it took very, very long time for that to happen. And I mean, I respect that they did that legally, but also I don't think immigrants is bad, and immigrants are not taking jobs from us. The jobs that we're building in the government are not jobs that immigrants can have because they're not qualified, so they're not taking jobs from us. Do you want to go and get your hands dirty like a lot of immigrants?
We're talking about illegal immigrants, I think.
Well, both.
Because you said your family's immigrants, which is legal immigrants. So is, my grandparents. But illegal immigrants cut the line, and they actually affect immigrants the most. The communities affected the most are legal immigrants trying to get here legally. That's why it's so hard to come and takes so long, because illegal immigrants skip the line. That's part of it.
Okay, partially, but I'm not going to say that they're completely ruining it for all of them.
No, I'm not.
It's not true.
They just cost a lot of money, and they do come here illegally, and we don't know who's coming.
Right,
like,
but
no immigrant comes across the southern border not through a port of entry, right? Like, anyone crossing in the desert, we should know who that person is.
I mean, I guess, but also if America's supposed to be such a welcoming melting pot of people, then why are we kicking all these people out?
Because they came here illegally.
Yeah, but why is that so bad? They're just looking for more opportunity. Just like my family was looking for opportunity, they want opportunity.
Because billions of people are looking for more opportunity. Billions of people make less than a couple of dollars a day. We can't bring in more than, we bring in 1 million a year. We bring in more immigrants than any country in the world.
Great.
Historically
I'm
as
very
well.
happy, yeah.
But people come here illegally, and there's billions of people who live below the poverty line who make less than $2 a day. We can bring in 2 million, 5 million. It wouldn't be a drop in the bucket compared to the global poverty. So I don't think that we can solve global poverty because we want to have loose immigration systems.
I'm not claiming that we would solve global poverty, though. So that's where you're wrong. I think that us opening our doors to immigrants is critical.
Illegal immigrants.
Illegal immigrants. Any immigrant is critical in our country's growth.
Keep shredding. Keep shredding. Like everyone's laughing at me. Here we go. Yo, dude. Close. All right, another Fleccas Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Maybe buy some merch. Maybe send me a few bucks on PayPal. Whatever you want to do. We'll see you at the next one. Fleccas Talks.
All right.
Can I ask you some questions?
Hit me. Let's go, man.
All right, okay.
I like that spoon on the back of your phone.
Yes, for recording
How you doing?
purposes.
Who is this with? Is this with what is it? Offensive TV?